My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
Thought we'd spend a moment looking at a couple of the key storylines in the latest round of the Radical Australia Cup. And first up, we're going to talk to the points leader, Kim Burke, a stalwart of this championship. Is this finally the year?
Look, I hope so. It's been a long time coming. I've been second in the championship a couple of times, and I've been knocking on the door. But I think this year, fingers crossed, I can put it all together. So I'm just trying to turn up at every round, make the most of every round. When I can win, I'll win, and if I can't win, then I'll just get as many points as I can.
I can tell from the smile on your face how much you enjoy racing these cars. Why? What was the attraction? What was the appeal?
Oh, look, the cars are fantastic to drive. They're a proper race car. They're an open car. They're a prototype car, essentially. I've driven tin tops as well, and they're chalk and cheese. They behave like a race car. They've got a lot of grip. They're very fast. But on top of that, they're really cheap to run, and they're just tremendous fun to drive.
Now, I might get Andy, our cameraman, just to pan over down the back there and look at that helmet, because is that your helmet, and is that a little bit of Mark Webber inspiration?
There is a little bit of Mark Webber inspiration, actually, but I got to admit I copied his design, but it's working for me this year, so I might keep it.
Enjoy the rest of your time at Sandown. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cars coming around to start the Radical Australia Cup race, their second race for this weekend. Past the Dunlop sign, quite appropriately these cars shod with the Radical International Dunlop control tyre. And we've got a bit of quick news out of the pit straight in. Winslow has withdrawn, and now John Paul Drake will be running by himself. We've got Tony Shebeki right on the start of this race alongside me here as we see the field, compact field, streaming their way down to turn one.
It certainly is, Daz. Good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Kim Burke is our man out front up to turn one. Simon Haggerty also. John Paul Drake was up the front of the grid, now towards the back. As you said, with James Winslow pulling out for the remainder of the day, it'll be John Paul Drake's car. What a great drive by James Winslow yesterday to get that car into pole position, and from lap one of him stepping into it, effectively he was hot to trot.
Yeah, certainly James Winslow comes with a very, very tidy CV to when he jumps into any race car, and he drove very well yesterday. Obviously jumping out, John Paul Drake's going to do the entire 250 minutes today, and we'll see how that starts to transpire. So Kim Burke started out of pole. It was Simon Haggerty, Tony Haggerty, Chris Perini, who had a win at the last round at Tail and Bend, as did Brad and Mitch Nielsen as well, the rookies from last year. Rowan Ross got a bit of damage, and we see the number 6, the Tony Haggerty car, has gone around, and that looks to be down at the site where we just saw Chelsea Angelo, and a big lock up there by the number 38, which is Brad Nielsen, currently in P2, so pushing pretty hard there early doors. So coming onto the main straight for the first time, we see that car go down around there. So Tony Haggerty, here we see it. It's on the exit of Dandenong Road there. A little bit evasive action from the cars behind, but Tony was running right up as far as second before that happened. But on the exit, as opposed to the entry, like we've just seen in the Porsche Michelin GT3 Cup Challenge race, and we'll pick it up and continue on as Kim Burke leads the way up the back straight. It'll be Simon Haggerty in the second of the HRT, the Haggerty Racing Team. Radicals going up the hill under the Shell V-Power. Again, the control fuel of the Radical races right around the world. Talking about right around the world with the Radical races, great opportunity for the champion this year to go and race at Monza, of all places. So you win the local domestic series here at the Radical Australia Cup and head over to Monza.
And at the moment, that could be Kim Burke, who's had a great start to 2018 with a big swag of points for him, and he's obviously still in front of the championship, and with the 250-minute races today, a big chance to increase that lead over Chris Perini, who is just behind in second place. Peter Patton is a missing driver from this weekend. Loves Sandown, had a fantastic year last year here at Sandown for Peter Patton. Not here this weekend, and once again that just gives an opportunity for Kim Burke to get full maximum points over the 2 races, even more impetus.
John Paul Drake running down in 5th at the moment. We probably expect JP to push up a little bit further at the moment, doing dual duties here this weekend, running in the prototype category as well. But Kim Burke, I guess, without Peter Patton being here this weekend, would be the favourite as he crests the top of the hill here at Sandown and it dips down. So at the moment, Kim Burke is fastest on track and is setting fastest sectors. Having said that, the second sector, which they've just completed, the car right behind there, car number 5 with Simon Haggerty, has set the fastest second sector of the weekend so far. So they're looking to be breaking records. You'd have to suggest, I guess, the ambient cold temperature is not giving the track the heat it needs into it. But these cold conditions are giving the little 1300cc Hayabusa motorcycle-based engines. They're certainly radical power engine, but they're based on that Hayabusa power plant. This would be ideal. Nice high revs, really cool, dense air, and a good explosion in the combustion chamber will be giving these guys every bit of performance they need. It may just be that it's going to be the sort of first 4 to 5 laps before the Dunlops get right up to speed, but pretty impressive times already this early. A little bit of housekeeping for the Radical Australia Cup as this round will start to unfold. The compulsory pit stop window for both their races today will open at 15 minutes after the commencement of the race, so we'll see the pit stop window open at that stage, and then we'll close at the 35-minute mark. Each car has to be across the control line in the pit lane before that 35-minute mark closes the pit lane. So we have seen in recent times a couple of drivers miss that opportunity, just concentrating at with the race at hand. So they'll be getting told to come in as well. As we've got a spinner, and that is the 88 of Rowan Ross. So he had a big bit of damage at Tailem Bend. They didn't think the car was going to get back out, and it did. Only did 3 laps in the last race, but it did get rolling again. That's a fair old whack with the wall there too. So he looks like he's trying to get things going again. Top of the hill, boy, almost picture perfect of what Chelsea Angelo did. Had a wobble, tried to correct it, did all the right things from inside the car, was looking where he wanted to go, but gave the fence a fair old clout. Now these are particularly purpose-built race cars. They're not designed to hit walls like that.
And good news for Ryan Ross is that he's been able to get that car out and bring it back to pit lane. And the compulsory pit stop window is now open. Chris Papadopoulos there on the left, part of the Radical team out of Sydney Motorsport Park.
A bit of an update out of our people down in the pit lane. It looks like the uprights on the Rowan Ross car are bent, and that is not a real quick changeover. I wouldn't suspect. It might be 50 minutes to do it, but we're already 10 minutes into the 50-minute race, so they'll have the spares available down there, and let's hope that they can sling it on before the second of the Radical Australian Cup race. Got plenty of time. That's not until 2 o'clock this afternoon for the second race. So the crew assessing things down there to be able to get Rowan Ross back out there. Great shots coming out of Dandenong Road. They're right over the shoulder almost of Simon Haggerty onto the dash there, the Motec type LCD screen there, feeding all the information back. Oh, and our leader in.
Yep.
So,
and Haggerty stays out, so get your camera ready.
Kim Burke, yeah, let's get a photo of the screenshot of the race leader. Now Simon Haggerty, Chris Perini. Bit of a gap back now to Chris Perini, just under 4 seconds. So compulsory pit stop, engine turned off. We're just seeing the RAC crew. Just a bit of tyre deflation, just making sure they're back to a normal level to continue on with the remaining 33 minutes in this race. So just dropping them, I suspect what they're doing is dropping them back or just getting a gauge on what they are, and if they're at that operating window, then they'll be left alone. So just seeing a little bit of air being bled out there, which is absolutely totally normal procedure for this type of race with a pit stop in it. And of course, they're quite a technical piece of kit, the Radical SR3RS. That's what we're seeing, the most up-to-date outfits being run and most of the teams are running the newest, the greatest and newest this weekend. So Kim Burke, Chris Perini and Rowan Ross all in the new cars. Our race leader is coming in. Was that Perini? Yep, that's Chris Perini coming in. Kim Burke heading out in the number 66.
John Paul Drake also in with Chris Perini as well.
So the number 68, this is the Kim Burke car. So this is the current SR3 RSX that we're going to be putting a bit of a spotlight on throughout today's racing. Just giving everyone the details there. So great seeing the 66 rejoining. So John Paul Drake had quite a short pit stop. It was only 45 seconds. There was that success for James Winslow. So James Winslow not jumping into the car, so he'll get his normal ranking. So at the moment, one square cleanse, we're actually seeing on screen now that will probably end up being the race lead, currently for 5th, 6th and 7th on the road. Just having a quick focus on the Radical SR3 RSX. It's a two-seater carbon steel space frame, full FIA safety cell and an aluminium front crash structure. So as far as the world of motorsport goes, it's the full spec FIA crash structure, so you'd like to think you're nice and safe inside that outfit there. 6-piece lightweight fiberglass body with side skirts, side pods and a composite tail. Lots of downforce through the aluminium biplane rear wing. As I mentioned before, the RPE Suzuki 1500cc 4-cylinder Hayabusa, and the RSXs now have the generation 3 of that power plant. 1500cc, 260 brake horsepower at 9,500 RPM, so good high revs, gives us that good scream that we hear the cars coming by, so really designates that note. Tony Haggerty in the lane now, and that will complete our pit stops. Oh, it won't. No, Mitch Nilsson is still to come in. So there's effectively, actually after the pit stop, Simon Haggerty will remain in the lead. So this is actually 1, 2 and 3 on the road.
But I'll tell you what, 1, 2 and 3 on the road, look how close they are, half a second between the three of them. Haggerty, John Paul Drake and Kim Burke. Chris Perini then a further 10 seconds back in effectively 4th place. Be interesting to see though, Mitch Nielsen's now come into the lane. He's got a 1.5 lap gap between him and Simon Haggerty. So we have a spinner, and that is John Paul Drake. It's going to hurt his chances.
Lost a bit of concentration there. It was sitting in a good striking distance for the lead. So just looking at the number 38, the Nielsen car, 85 and a 25 equalisation. So here it is, Kim Burke coming up onto the back of, and there goes John Paul Drake. Costly mistake, costly mistake.
Simon Haggerty's had a, I would say, fairly distinguished career in the Radical Australia Cup. 3rd in the championship back in 2011, 12 and 13. So definitely been thereabouts over his time in the RAC.
Been doing it for quite a while, and we've seen him go round, exiting Dandenong Road, so he's relinquished the lead. A very rare mistake from Simon Haggerty, and Kim Burke goes through. They have himself about a 5 or 6 second lead after that. Turned around down at Dandenong Road, so you'd have to think with the pace that Kim Burke's had on. Here we go. Comes down there. All looking pretty neat and tidy. Where did it go wrong? Oh, just turn in oversteer, and it'll catch you out every single time. So maybe just turn in a little bit earlier than what he has been, getting a little bit rattled by the pressure of Kim Burke. Well, having said that, Kim Burke was a fair way off. It wasn't like he was right up under the rear wing there.
Pretty much the same as what happened to John Paul Drake in exactly the same spot.
It is. Bit of turn in oversteer, and that's so stiffly sprung, you hit a bump and it upsets the whole car, and around you go. Sandown International, a little bit of a patchwork these days, with little bits and pieces of the track that have had resurfaces and repairs.
Chris Perini now right up and close. He's smelling exhaust fumes from John Paul Drake. Is he close enough to get a run up the outside? It's probably not the place to get it done. I wouldn't have thought.
John Paul Drake's driving very well here. He's holding a line, albeit a defensive line. He's holding it. He's actually chosen the same line for about the last 3 laps now, so he's been consistent. He can't be told that he's holding up or blocking. Look at Perini now, jumping out over the bumps underneath the Penrite Oils Bridge and coming onto the straight this time round, so equally matched in their mechanical grip. There's just a difference in aero between these cars.
I'd be surprised if that accelerator of Chris Perini goes through the floor. He'd be pushing it that hard.
Do you reckon it'd be bent over around the back of the
trying
firewall?
to
It goes wide. This will be a brave run. And here's our race leader, you'd have to suggest, on the last lap with only 24 seconds left to go. Kim Burke will climb the hill. The lead is back out to 0.8 of a second. This is, again, a reminder for 3rd place. John Paul Drake in the 66. Perini there in the number 81. Took a win at Tailem Bend. Car currently sitting 4th. That carbon grey and red outfit. A really smart-looking livery. In fact, they've both got completely different liveries. One's as busy as that all get up, and the other one's a simple GT stripe over carbon red, isn't it? So, time is up. Let's look to the straight now. There is race leader Kim Burke. Checkered flag goes to Kim Burke, and he takes the first of the 2 50-minute races here today as part of round 2 of the Shannon's Nationals. The race is on now for 3rd. What's Perini got? He's going to have huge drive out of the corner to get the run up to, looks to the inside. It's going to be side by side. How do they get to the line? We'll have to look to the timing screens to see what happens. But it will be John Paul Drake that just holds it and holds it out to 0.02 to Chris Perini.
Kim Burke from Simon Haggerty, a 1 second gap between those two. John Paul Drake in 3rd. Chris Perini in 4th place. Brad Nielsen, Tony Haggerty and Rowan Ross making up our 7 cars here at Sandown for the Radical Australia Cup this weekend.
We'd love to see all of you at every single one of our rounds throughout the year. Of course, Phillip Island on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of June. A huge weekend down there. Get down to Melbourne's playground, Phillip Island for the weekend, and come to the Shannon's Nationals.
Stay with us, because after the break, we head to Wakefield Park Raceway in Goulburn for the opening round of the High Tech Drift All-Star Series for 2018.